Hello, and welcome back to Soul Spa University, Holiday Edition. The holidays are upon us, and hey, we look forward to these holidays all year, and then when we're in them, we don't know how to handle it. Hey, if you get stressed out amongst the holidays, this video is for you. Please stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. It is part of Holiday Survival Kit that I usually just do with clients, but I'm giving you a good portion here. It's going to help you get through these holidays and make you feel okay for having any weird feelings about it at all. Hi, Tommy. How you doing?
I am doing great. As you know, I love the holidays. So, but I understand this is something that many people struggle with, and this is a good thing that you're helping them.
Yes. Yes. I was going to do this video alone, guys, and I still might. However, right now, Tommy's just kind of going for the ride. I'm just laughing at whatever's going on with me right now. Am I on fire?
Oh, are you okay?
I'm not sure. Anyway, so guys, yeah, honestly, it's ironic how we look forward to the holidays all year round. Then when we're actually living them in real life, we're like, what the, right? If you get super stressed during the holidays, you're not alone. 61% of consumers dread the holidays, while 88% of Americans are super stressed during it. Yep, this video is for you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as share. That would be amazing. And if once you subscribe, you can hit the all notification bell, which will help you actually know when new content is posted. And then you can actually hit the set reminder when I premiere posts to actually not miss it, because sometimes things get taken down right away. And then you'll be the first to share it with your friends. And if you have no friends, no problem, we're your friends. I also made this channel so no one feels alone. And you are not alone if you are having a hard time during the holidays. This is going to be your survival kit. Tommy, you may like the holidays. Everyone maybe likes the holidays. That doesn't mean you have a hard time, not have a hard time doing it. It's very normal. For those of you that look forward to it all year, then find yourself really stressed while being online or really stressed while being around your family, you are not alone. First of all, have love and compassion. That is the first step. Have love and compassion for yourself. It is okay that you're having these feelings. Know that you're not alone. Know that many people feel this during the holidays. To be honest, that's kind of why people make their own families. And that doesn't mean you have to all make your own family, but there's a reason why birds fly away from the nest. They still love their family, of course, still be around them. But please forgive yourself for having any feelings that are a little super stressed when around them on the holidays. You're collaborating a lot of schedules. Everyone lives different lives now. Everyone does things differently. It's only normal. It's okay. So anger is resistance. It's a resistant energy. You know, hey, Tommy, have you heard of a Chinese finger trap?
I have.
You know, when you try to get out of it, what happens?
Hey, you just gets more stuck.
Yes, but when you relax and go into it, you can actually get out of it, right? The
Yes,
same way when you are skidding when you're in a car, how do you get out of it?
you just get into it.
Exactly, you turn into it to get out of it. That's my analogies and metaphors for anger, okay? Anger is resistant energy. You're resisting what is going on. So the first step is to, like I said, accept yourself, love yourself. It's okay. Be there for yourself. Accept that you feel this way. That is okay. Number one. Number two, anger at itself is resistance. The opposite of resistance is acceptance, radical acceptance. Okay. So I know you don't want to accept what's going on. I know. But if you actually do, you're doing a service to yourself because you are who matters and you are where most of your love and support and fulfillment for yourself should be coming from, because that's the safest route. We have all we ever need within ourselves. So if you can make your commitment more to yourself than to your anger at other people or how they're disappointing you and not filling up your cup, you're going to be doing amazing. So remember, when you first of all, have a handy guide ready, okay? Which means grab a pen and paper right now to jot down these notes so that you or in your phone so you could have it whenever you want. So whenever you feel that trigger, whenever you feel angry, you have this list to go back to, okay? Love and acceptance for yourself, understand yourself. It's totally okay if you have anger, okay? Number two, anger is resistance. So put down radical acceptance. Just accept what's going on and figure out what you want to do from here, you know? Anger is about the past. Do you have any questions, Tommy?
Actually, no, I'm actually pretty like interested in this because I had anger problems back in the day.
And that's okay. Anger is about the past. Anger is never about the present situation. It's always a tip of the iceberg thing. Okay. So when someone's angry, you actually see the very tip of the iceberg. And that might make them look like they are overreacting or it has nothing to do with situation. Yeah, because it has a lot to do with what's underneath the water, what's underneath the surface, what is in the past, right? So a good thing to do when you're angry, okay, and since it's the tip of the iceberg and about the past, say to yourself, what story am I reacting to? Because events happen all the time and they're neither good or bad, they're neutral. It's the meaning we're putting on them. So ask yourself, what story am I reacting to? And that's always what's going on. Anger is about a story that is always relating to your past. And you might be reacting to somebody that has nothing to do with your past, or that does, but still is not doing what happened in the past. Okay. So what happens is when we're younger, okay, from age 1 to 7, we're pretty much in a hypnagogic, like hypnotic state where we're literally just accepting all these suggestions to figure out how to survive, how to best survive, right? Because we're so impressionable, and even past that age, just in life, right? Like, because we're so impressionable, things could happen to us that we take super personally, right? But they weren't intended that way, or it shouldn't been digested so intensely. Either way, we have to figure out how to let go of it because that pattern will just repeat throughout your whole life. Because you think that's true. And it is true for you. You really felt it, but it's not doing you a service anymore. So it can go down to as little as someone took your rattle away when you were 2. And then you feel so abandoned and that nobody loves you and nobody's there to care for you, right? Like that's a little thing from the outside. But to you, it was huge, right? Because that was your world, right? So that'll like repeat in life, right? So then all of a sudden you're 27 and, some girl takes a flirty sip of your drink or something and you're like, you're taking my drink. Like, and you're upset, and to outside people it looks weird, but if you were to ask yourself, what story am I reacting to, it would tell you why you're really upset, right? It'll tell you things about yourself, which would be, well, people have no consideration for me, why is it always about them? And then you would ask yourself, what's the earliest age you remember feeling this way? And then you might be able to clear it up. And here's where we get into fulfilling your own cup and healing yourself from the inside out. You would then envision you at that age. Okay, this is called inner child work, and it works amazingly for trauma. So basically, say you remember this at age 3 or 7. You would imagine your 3 or 7-year-old self, and you would say, you would comfort him or her, and you would say, it's okay, I'm here for you. I'm going to be here for you for the rest of your life. And you kind of feel this inner healing sort of happen. And you ask that child, what do you need right now? That anger you have in you, that's really that inner child. You would say to it, what do you need? And the first thing that pops into your head or that they say, I want love or recognition. Okay. And give them that and say, and I'm going to do that for the rest of your life. And really do this energetically and feel it. It really heals you from the inside out. Now, the third component that I have invented, incorporated into my work is then you bring in, the more you work with me, the more you're going to actually get very familiar with your future self, right? Your future self is your ideal, everything you ever wanted to be, the best version of yourself, down to the body, how you look, how you feel, how you act. You can become very, very familiar with him or her, very, very familiar. And so one of the things on your guide you're going to put after the inner child work is, and remember with the inner child work, another question to ask when you get angry, a shortcut to it is, what age are you? Right? So when you're angry, you would ask your anger, what age are you? And it would shortcut to it. Anyway, so yes, your future self is ideally who you'd want to be, right? So my future self, right? She's calm, she's serene. You know, us women, we always have a thinner version of ourselves, right? I don't know, you don't have to. If not, that's amazing. I look up to you for that. I got to strive to that, right? But yeah, you know, we all have our preferences. So I'm like super sculpted, you know, I'm just like, you know, making how much a month. These are just to feed your own ideas of what you would want, right? I'm, you know, I'm self-fulfilled. My place is super organized. You know, and how I walk around the house, how I feel around it. But my overall energy that I like to connect with her is it's instant, because once you connect with your future self, you have this energy you can instantly connect to. And it's you know, it's like, it's calm, it's serene. She just has this loving understanding of everything. So she never gets triggered. You know, if something happens, like she just doesn't get triggered by it, you know, and it's amazing. So I connect with that all the time. That's what I want. So you would put on your list, how would my future self, okay, like react to this? How would my future self feel? Right. Now, another key component is not to take anything personally. So put that on your list. Don't take anything personally. I don't care how personal it seems. Remember and write this down. What people do is about them, not you. What people do is about them, not you. And say, it's not my job. It's not my job to teach them. It is not my job. And that's it. Your job, your commitment to yourself is to be the best version of yourself. Whatever they're doing is about them. Now, remember, this stuff is hard. It's as easy as you let it. So say it's easy, and that's great, right? But have a guide near you, okay? Because you are literally creating new neural pathways in your brain when you're doing this. The fact that you take, you know, when you take the same way home every day from work, you have a groove in your brain from that. Every groove in your brain is a neural pathway from a habit you've repeatedly done, right? So things are second nature to you. This is new, like writing with the non-dominant hand, right? So this might feel uncomfortable at first. It might be hard to remember at first. Always have a guide near you and reward yourself for every step of the way. Remember that it's progress, not perfection, okay? Progress, not perfection. So you're not going to say, I didn't do 40% of this, or I didn't do 90% of this. You're going to say, I did 60% of this. I did 10%. You're going to look at the parts that you did do and congratulate yourself for that. It's all about positive reinforcement. So please, again, love and compassion for yourself for all of this. This is hard, but I don't want to keep saying that, because it's however easy as you want it to be, it can be. But positive reinforcement is going to help it go by so much more easily. It is progress, not perfection. And as contrary as this seems, but it's not, practice makes perfect. The more you practice this, the more you refer to your guide whenever you get triggered. The more you do this, the more it's redoing that groove, that new neural pathway in your brain. We are not trying to break old habits. We're making a new one to go to, that new option to go to, eventually to become second nature to you. Okay, so remember, this takes practice. The more you practice it, the easier it's going to be. Drop all expectations. whatever expectations you have on people to fulfill you or rectify what happened to you when you were younger from either what they did or whatever, got to drop it. Your job is to fill your own cup. Your job is to know that you have everything you will ever need in life. Okay. Fill your own cup. So that way, if they do give you anything, it's icing on the cake. It is not, I need this now. And then you have resentment for if they don't. Okay. Dropping expectations to other people help to not put your life on a moving variable that, how reliant is that? Rely on yourself. You know you'll always be there. Wherever you are, there you are. And so are your triggers, which is what we're working on now. Radical acceptance. Okay. You okay, John? Now we're
I
getting
am. I'm
to
actually.
icing.
I'm actually super interested in this because all I was ever taught was because when I had like anger problems, they're like, try meditation, and I did it, and it helps. It helps a lot, but it's like you said, it was like repetitive, but it never really got rid of it. It calmed me down for like a time being, but never really got rid of it.
Okay, so good point. Thank you for telling me about meditation because it is on this list somewhere. And the reason why I'm not numbering all this is because I, not that there's an order, but I kind of just winged it. um, okay, meditation. Meditation, guys, is such a huge, amazing exercise. Don't be discouraged by Tommy's perceived non-progress. Tommy is amazing at not getting angry. So meditation, whether he realizes it or not, has helped him tremendously. Here's what meditation does. Number one, very normal, especially when you start meditation, and even if you've been doing it for 20 years, to think you're doing it wrong. You're not. You're not doing it wrong. All meditation is constantly retraining your brain to get back to center. So what I do is I pick a mantra that I would like I'm self-fulfilled. So I'm self-fulfilled. Then when my mind wanders, I'm self-fulfilled. My mind wanders, I'm self-fulfilled. You know what I mean? Some people focus on their breath and keep going back. Just as long as you have something to keep going back to, once you're there, I let it just relax and I feel like I'm in an allowing state. An allowing state. The first two mantras that really help you get in this state is I am safe, I am loved. I love those myself. Kind of helps you be relaxed and be in an allowing state. And whenever you wander, come back. Whenever you wander, come back. Helps to retrain those muscles in your brain to stay focused. And it does something where it'll actually help you start observing yourself. So one way to help with anger is to observe yourself from an outside point of view when you're getting angry, or even after the incident. Observe how you were in it, observe your emotional reaction, and ask yourself, does it fit? You might then realize that that was your pain body reacting. Maybe when you're getting really triggered, you could say, oh, this is my pain body reacting. The same way with the inner child work. With the inner child, you comfort your inner child, you're there for your inner child, you're healing your inner child. Then say, okay, and you put your inner child in the passenger seat. You are now in the driver's seat. It gives you a space between those emotions, and now your adult self gets to drive the car of your life, right? So same way with you're observing yourself from an outside point of view, from bird's eye diagonal point of view, you're observing yourself. Or if you say, this is my pain body, you're separating from the emotion, you're able to more control with your wise mind, okay? Meditation helps with all of this by giving they're doing something with your muscles in your brain where actually it helps to have a pause between stimulus and response. And that is the mastery of your emotions. That is the hardest thing to do. But once you start accomplishing it, even 1%, and you just build on that, oh my God, miracles will happen. The hardest thing to do is to have a pause, any type of pause in space or time between stimulus and response. Okay, because that's when you're used to reacting with that same neural pathway, that same automatic drive home, the same everything that you've been doing your whole life. Okay, you're now doing something different in an automatic, like you're used to doing that automatically from a reptilian survival standpoint, the fact that you can change at all, to just remember, look at my list when you're triggered. Look at my list. Look at my list. If you could even go that far to remember to look at your list, that is amazing, because it is so crazy to break that one thing, that if you can even remember any of this at all, dang it. That's why you have a list. Anything that can help you all, that is the goal. Pause between stimulus and response is the aim that we are doing all with this, okay? And meditation does tremendous work on that. So yes, I do recommend it. Tommy's down on himself about it, and I'm glad that he's honest about it, which is why it's so nice that he's saying all these other things are going to help him. Like, great, that's amazing, that's great. But I believe meditation has probably helped him way more than he can even imagine, because this guy is such a gentle giant, such a gentle giant. He is like Snoopy and I am like Woodstock. The reason I know so much about this is because I am a female with emotions like the rest of them. And, it looks like Snoopy and Woodstock. Him and I look like Snoopy and Woodstock. He's just the sleeping giant. Or it's like a big bear and I'm like a puppy crawling all over him, and he's just laughing and just goes like this. So he's really good at that. So. Okay, guys, you ready for the icing on the cake? And Tommy, do you have any other things to say or questions?
No, this is super interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for letting me join this one.
Yeah, guys, this wasn't planned. I just thought, oh, let's let him come around for the ride. So yeah, this is interesting. It's like, I feel like it's like take your son to work day or something. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe he's like watching his little girl in class. I don't really know.
Just sitting up in an auditorium, and I'm just sitting there in the audience. Like,
Yes. So also, guys, if you feel, oh yeah, that's like my recital, my holiday recital. If you guys feel, okay, so this is the thing I'm also going to put in my New Year's videos. Delayed gratification is huge. So in that same parallel kind of way of thinking, when you feel triggered, fulfill yourself inside, give yourself love and compassion in that moment, right? If you're in a setting where you have to deal with people, say to your inner child, okay, I got it. We're going to take care of this. It's going to be fine. Have your adult drive the vehicle of that moment right now and tell yourself, I will deal with this later. And deal with it when you're alone, so you know what triggers are really about them, what triggers are really about you. I'm telling you, it's mostly you. And if it is about them, remember, we cannot control other people. Deal with it within yourself. See it as an opportunity for self-growth. Yes, they can be wrong. They might be wrong. Remember, there's no wrong or right in life. It's just all about how you're looking at it. How can you use this to grow yourself in a way that is productive? If you really want to talk to them about it, that is fine. Remember to phrase it in a way that they could hear it, that they can receive it, and that the communication is effective, in that they will be receptive to hearing it, they'll be receptive to receiving it, and that you both can get what you want out of the communication. Okay. So when you feel triggered, remember, tell your inner child, tell yourself, I will deal with this later. It is okay. It's going to be okay. I will deal with this later. Have your adult manage whatever's going on in the public setting, and make sure you deal with it later. The point is, any space between stimulus and response, congratulate yourself for. Amazing. Applaud. Amazing. Okay. All right, guys, if you're still with me, you're doing amazing. I'm so sorry I did not number these. I did prepare for this. It's like 14 pages. This is some of what I do with clients. However, I'm kind of skipping around today because I didn't want to just read off a paper to you guys, and there's a lot to cover. But this is all amazing. It doesn't have to go in a specific order. Ready for the icing on the cake? Here's the icing. This is the fun part. Okay, as some of you know, I am a law of attraction specialist. I've been a certified life coach for over 10 years. I've had a specialization in manifestation for over 10 years, and I've taught classes at the library in manifestation every month for over 10 years. So here's where the icing on the cake comes in, where it's manifestation time. Okay. Manifestation is the science that what you think about, you bring about, right? So one exercise I teach people is how to, I call it pre-paving. I've taught them for years. So basically what you do is you would envision and visualize a scenario in your head prior to it happening, right? So I've been teaching law of attraction a little differently the past 5 or more years, where we really go deep with it. We don't just, yes, you can attract whatever you want. However, and that's fine. However, eventually in people's journeys, it's very important to get to, why do they want it? Why? I could teach an obese person how to attract the nearest parking spot at McDonald's, right? And that might be good for them to realize they have the power. And then because they realize they have the power, they can then create the power to get healthier, right? But yeah, I go deeper now the past 5 years with law of attraction, so that people realize what they truly want and not what they're taught to want or what's conditioned them to want, and they become way more fulfilled that way. However, trust me, it's just as fulfilling, and in fact, quantumly more fulfilling, and freeing within yourself, and self-love, and self-fulfillment. So with pre-paving, I can't just go into what's the ideal situation that you would be walking into in any family event. At first, we would go in layers. We would go in, all right, let's pre-pave. What if you were super triggered in that scenario? What is the best you can react to, right? And you would pre-pave that in terms of how would it feel to be your best self in that scenario, as you know yourself now, the 10th level of yourself now. How would it feel to react to them triggering you in a way that you will be proud of? And then you feel yourself leaving that scenario proud of yourself. Remember, at the end of the day, we are going to sleep with ourselves, no matter what. And that's if you are at peace with yourself at the end of the day, you're good. You know, they'll be the ones. As long as you keep your cool, as long as you're genuine and loving, and you stand by that, and you don't lose your center, you're good. So that's the first pre-paving. Envision and feel yourself reacting in the best way you could imagine to the most triggering thing, right? Second, then each one gets better and more better feeling, right? Imagine yourself in the exact energy as your higher self in your future self, okay? That energy, how would he or she react in the most triggering situation? Feel that. Now, when you're doing this, guys, you're actually embodying it, and you're actually creating that neural pathway in your brain so that when this happens, you're there. You're there way easier than you would have been if you didn't already have that groove. The same way you find a place easier when you've already practiced going to it. Okay. Okay. So that's the second wave of it, which is envision yourself being the way your higher self, the way your future self would be, even when that other person is triggering you. How would that future self really feel? I know mine wouldn't be bothered. I can't imagine that now, but I can, which is how I can do it. And just by being in that, how would it feel to be that? I am it in that moment. And if all we have is right now, you just fucking accomplished it. So that's amazing. Keep creating that. The third and best feeling layer of all, and I'm rushing now because I feel like Tommy's going to sleep, is that imagine it all going now. Here's the icing on the cupcake you just created, exactly how you'd want it. So you just did it where your most ideal self, you could honestly imagine how that person would, you are harnessing all these tools now, and even more after being triggered, then you're feeling how it would feel to be your future self and not even bothered by it and still loving and still like you go to sleep that night totally fine and whole and complete within yourself, right? And now you're imagining you embodying your future self and all this amazing energy and how you'd actually want these people to be. Now, what's great about it is your emotions now are not depending on their behavior. It would just feel really great if, right? Because we did those first two exercises where you're handling it fine, your cup is already filled by you. It would just feel even better if they did it, right? But if we didn't already fill up our own cups with the first two layers, our feelings would actually be contingent on their behavior, which would actually have fear energy involved in this energy equation, and it would muddle it a little, you know? So that's why we do the first two layers of this to know you could handle it no matter what. Say they do trigger you, you'll be fine. That's how to know it. So practice these things. I'd say every day of the year, um, just so that you're building up who you want to be. Because at the end of the day, that's the most relationship you can have is your relationship with yourself. I'd like to say your relationship with God, um, but I want to be open to everyone, and we're all part of God. So that's an amazing thing there, and visualize it. And there was one other thing that came to me as I was talking about this that I'm not sure. Oh, you're also going to give yourself your own holiday. You're going to fill up your cup that way. I don't care if it's like 10 minutes of doing what you want to do, anything like that. But while you're at this event, just know, oh, I just had my own holiday and I filled up my cup, or I'm going to have my own holiday. So you're not, your holiday, your happiness is not dependent on other people. But that video is a whole other video, which I'm going to be doing right after this. And maybe I already posted it already. Guys, check out the holiday survival kit, which is this month's playlist for, surviving the holidays, with life coaching tips, as well as law of attraction tips and going deep with it, and many, many more. How you doing, Tommy?
I'm doing great, actually. I kind of feel like I'm in class, like actually learning something super important. And so thank you again.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you.
this is super like interesting and expansive as to what I was taught. What I was taught was simple. Like I told you, I mean, I love meditation. I do it to help my stress, but the rest of this was never, not even close to mentions. It was always just one of those things that doctors are like, "Oh, we hear meditation is good, unless you want these pills." And I'm like, "No, no, I'll take the meditation." So, uh,
Yes,
but this is,
exactly. I always
yeah,
like the most natural as well. I don't want to turn people off, but in case this helps, always put on your list to remember to pray. I feel angels are always trying to help us no matter what. So, have them help you get through this, have everything. Why not have extra help? There's nothing too little or too big for them. Are fulfilled the minute you ask, but they can't actually intervene until you do. The whole thing.
but yeah, thank you so much. This was amazing.
Hmm. Well, thank you. Didn't expect that. Didn't know you were awake. Uh, I kind of thought you'd be cracking jokes the whole time, which was I was more than prepared for, because I was like, I'm doing this video on my own probably after this. Just but maybe not. Maybe I could just post this one. We'll see. Um, so
No,
wow.
I super enjoyed that. Thank you so much. I felt like I'm sorry, like if I didn't like crack jokes or anything, but like I was the whole time I was enthralled, so I was just like sitting here listening.
Oh no, thank you. I was already finally prepared for the jokes. So so see what happens, guys, when you pre-pave and you're prepared for the trigger. It'll probably not happen because now there's no fear involved. So thank you guys so much. And any questions, Tommy? Are you good?
I'm good.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing. Like I don't want to take up time on this thing, but I like I'll literally ask you about this in real life.
Well, thank you so much. And guys, there's so much more to learn on this. If anyone's interested in having a session, I am a certified life coach, law of attraction specialist, manifestation specialist, as well as intuitive. So if anyone's interested, please email me at soulspyuniversity@gmail.com. The email is in the description box. If anyone got any use out of this content and would like to donate to keep this content going, that would feel so great in my heart and soul. The link is also in the description box for that. And also, if you guys would like to support our channel, it means so much that you're watching and you're here. Thank you so much. Subscribing would be great, so we're not locked on you forever. Thumbs up, liking is amazing. Thank you so much. Once you subscribe, you can actually hit the all notification bell so that we're still not lost on you forever, because it will happen until you do that. And then when I premiere post, you can actually hit set reminder so that you won't miss out on that content, because sometimes it just appears right after. It does. So that's your best way. And then if this helps any of your friends, you'll be the first one to share it. And if you have no friends, that is not true, because you have us here, and you are always welcome here at Soul Spy University. And thank you guys so much for joining. And hey, if you're having a hard time during the holidays, you are not the only one. That's why I made this video. It's very imperative. People have the hardest time, in fact, during the holidays, and I get it. And we're all here for each other. And give yourself love and compassion, because it is totally fine. And life happens. And so my neighbor home. And yeah, until next time, guys, namaste.
Thank you for watching, everyone.